police in Fremont. I just
Didn't do nothing.
drive a lawnmower and you're old. You should get
Clean ours. The others don't play with it. We don't. Yeah, I have about.
That's what I'm thinking. If I lease right now.
I mean, even now, it never really quit growing.
We'll see. I told him the color I wanted last night.
I've left some like balls on my farmers where that didn't grow up, you know, I mowed here and again there. I think of that, so I mowed like certain times. On my flat over there, I got where I got the bone here, so the same way there, you start mowing it.
Boy, after they tried to screw my old man, I don't
Yeah,
know
no,
if I did.
you weren't mowing, and if they were riding.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the meeting, September 10th, 2019, 7 p.m. Roll call.
Supervisor Murray?
Here.
Councilman Smith?
Here.
Councilman Phelps?
Here.
Councilman Kiefer?
Here.
Councilman White?
Here.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. Heavenly Father, please watch over us as we conduct the business for the town of Fremont and for its people. Also, look over our military people, men and women both, and secure them safe passage home. Amen.
At this time, we will conduct old business. Were there any changes to the minutes from the August 13th, 2019 public hearing?
Just the motions, the minutes is read. Second.
Roll call.
Whitman?
Aye.
Phelps?
Aye.
Smith?
Aye.
Kiefer?
Aye.
Murray?
Aye.
5 ayes, 0 nays, and 0 abstains.
And then a written complaint was brought to the town clerk by a citizen for the IDA pilot resolution. The Board of Ethics met in August to review the complaint. Dan, did you?
Yes. Good evening. Complaint was submitted to the Board of Ethics on August 20th, 2019 regarding a vote made on the pilot agreement with Steuben County. It is the opinion of the Ethics Board that on August 13th, 2019, at the town board meeting, Councilman Bud Phelps was clearly in violations of sections 2F and 6A. 2F is the definition of a relative. Relative means a spouse, former spouse, domestic partner, parents, step-parents, siblings, step-siblings, siblings, spouses, children, stepchildren, grandparents, grandchildren, and others living in household of a municipal officer or employee, and of individuals having any of these relationships to the spouse of the officer or the employee. Section 6A, no municipal officer or employee may participate in any decision or take any official action with respect to any matter requiring the exercise of discretion, including discussing the matter and voting on it. When he or she knows or has reason to know that the action could confer a direct or indirect financial or material benefit on himself or herself, a relative, or any private organization in which he or she is deemed to have an interest. It is the unanimous opinion of the Board of Ethics that the town board should revote on the pilot agreement with Steuben County and have Councilman Phelps abstain from the voting process. It is also the opinion of the Ethics Board that the town supervisor should, in the future, not allow any board member with a conflict of interest to vote on any resolutions that may violate local law number 1, 2018 Code of Ethics. And that's just our recommendations from the Board of Ethics, or Ethics Board.
You want to know what I think about it?
Make a
is a crock of shit. Telling me that I can't vote, that I was elected here to vote. And the Association of Towns, I called them up and their lawyer said that you guys are completely out of line. Telling me that I can't vote. Put that in your hat and smoke it.
We didn't tell you, the ethics board told me.
I don't care, the ethics board is advising the board, but the Association of Towns has got a lot more to say than what they have.
What about the law that we passed?
The law you passed is completely out of line.
Why
You
is it
can't
out of
make a
line?
law, you can't make a law like that I can't vote, that I was elected by the people to vote.
It was the state law. It
Oh,
was
state
the
law.
state form that we used.
No, you used your own,
No, we did not.
It's a state form.
It was a state form we used.
you use your state form all you want. They told me that you guys are completely out of line. Put that.
Did you have it in writing?
Do you
No,
have
I
it
called
Do
them
you
on the
have it
phone.
in writing?
No, I haven't got it in writing. But that's what the lawyer told me, right over the phone. Hey,
Usually any of that material constitutes in writing, and any of that type of material we'd have to see.
no, it's about like having their hearing. Why wasn't I informed of that hearing so I could be there?
Of what?
They had their hearing. Why wasn't I informed?
You're not on the board of ethics.
None with others.
Well, what's that have to do with it? I should be informed.
I do
I'm the
believe you
person that's
received
accused.
a letter.
Were you
I didn't
informed,
get no
Bert?
letter.
No.
I mailed it.
I got it after the thing was over with.
Well, you can't come to the ethics board meeting, Bud, because that's for the ethics board to meet. We sent you a letter that-
I'm the accused. Why shouldn't I be there to defend myself?
You didn't say nothing about it when it was after Burt Candy.
Yeah, I didn't find out about it till they got me in the meeting, just like you. I didn't know the Board of Ethics met. At least you got a letter that they met.
Yeah, afterwards, yeah.
But you were prepared for this meeting. I had no preparation at all.
No, all we can do is get on the phone and talk to people. I mean, hey, and they tell me their opinion. And that was the Association of Towns lawyer.
Well, would you like to table all windmill votes until you get that in writing from them?
You know, this, what we voted on the other night there, that don't have much to do with the windmill. Actually, I mean, it's just
It's a
the pilot
pilot
funds
program.
on funds.
Well, that has a lot to do with the windmill.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
And I
then
get a
we have
kick out
to,
of it. You guys both voted it down and you're the ones that negotiated it. The two of you. You went over and negotiated it with the IDA. And then
we
you come
didn't
back.
negotiate with the
Well,
IDA.
what, how did it all come about then?
But we didn't
They came up
negotiate
with it.
them. They came up with it on their own.
After the public
meeting
hearing
here.
Yeah,
downstairs.
You guys brought it up. I mean, hey, we figured you'd met with them, hey.
That's what I figured, that's for you. We did not.
It's amazing to come up with something like this and never, they just said that's the way it's gonna be and that's how it's gonna be. Because they said, it.
What are you talking about?
This agreement here on the funds,
Yeah.
I don't get how you come up with something like this. You gave me the idea that you two met with the IDA and come up with an agreement on the way these funds would be spent and all this and
We
that.
fine-tuned it at the end, yes,
You
to make
fine-tuned
sure
it. Okay, you
the
fine-tuned it.
percentages were
Okay.
put in there.
So you had it and you knew about it.
But we didn't negotiate anything. They
Yeah.
came to us and said that they would do it.
And you should have brought it to the town board and the board should vote on it.
That's,
I mean, the board is
You
more than.
did.
that's what you did last
Well,
week.
that's what we did, but I got a kick out of it. You two were the ones that negotiated it, so you said, but then you voted against it.
I didn't
I
vote against it, I
get a kick
abstained.
out of that. I mean, you do something like that and then you come up with, and tell me that I can't vote. I mean,
We didn't tell you you can't vote. There was a
The law
citizen,
said
the
laws
law
don't
does say
say
that.
that.
There
No,
was a
but the law
citizen
was
that
made up.
complained.
particularly for me.
No, it was not.
And then we got,
It's not for you, it's for people in your situation. It could be you or anybody up there.
This local law does not say Bud Phelps law. It says local law number 1 of 2019 Code of Ethics. It does not have your name. I've read it all 8 pages. Your name does not appear in this law whatsoever.
Well, we need to
So-
get this
But-
figured out for the HCA
Yeah.
and the road use agreement, because you'll be in a violation of them too.
Well,
I got a question.
we can get, we're done, I mean, get the letter from them, hey, it's a matter, I
So-
just.
So this would pertain to property. Yeah, because what he's accused of, because Carol's is his
Domestic partner.
domestic partner. And you're saying that she is getting windmills.
She is, but the farm is getting, it is, she isn't getting, she isn't getting personally, nothing. Oh, baby, you're not getting anything personally, nothing, the farm is getting it. She isn't getting a damn thing out of it.
Carol, do you have a contract in your name on your piece of property?
The contract was made with Baron Winds, that the farms should go to the direct, to the farm.
But is it your name signed on it and your land?
Is it Justin, or did that?
I don't know the answer. I didn't think so, but I don't.
I don't think she signed anything, that I know of,
What's the
anyway.
farm?
If
I
you
didn't
get
see
on,
anything.
if you get on the DPS website, y'all had to, put in any conflicts of interest. And under yours, Bud, there's 3 names, Jonathan Burns, David Burns, and Carol Burns. So they're listed separately on the DPS site. You can get that, pull it up.
But
Well, I can always get
how,
the contract.
how we benefit, I mean, come on, I don't benefit, I don't get a damn thing out of it.
Well, on the docket in the next month is the HCA and the road use agreement. So we need to get this, so it's legal, so you're not violating any laws by voting on it.
I'm not violating any law.
Yes, you are. It's the law of the town. And if we need to go to the attorney, we'll call our attorney and ask him.
That would be how I'm violating laws, I'm not getting anything.
That you don't have, it's coming into your household.
No, I look at it as a pretty cheap shot, that's all I gotta say, to come up with this thing for me, I mean, I look at some of the rest of it.
I guess in all favor to everyone and everything, I think we need to request a lawyer to be here for our next meeting and have him go through this once and for all, so we know where we are, what we are. If you have other information that you say that people told you over the phone or whatever, tell them you need it in writing, and you bring that to it. That's the only thing that I can say.
I agree.
We've heard it and heard it. We gotta put an end to it one way or the other. We gotta have this done. And, if that's what we have to do, we'll pay the lawyer whatever it takes to pay him, and we'll do it and get it done and be done with it. Keep hearing the same thing over and over and over. It's getting ridiculous.
Right. Sure.
Well then, let's get it done and stop this nonsense.
I agree.
Okay. So, you want to pull in here next month?
Yes, please. I'll make a resolution for that with the
I'll second it.
available,
Roll call?
explain the information to him, and we'll go from there.
Murray,
Guys?
Smith,
Aye.
Bill,
Abstain.
Kiefer,
Aye.
Whitman.
Aye.
4 ayes, 0 nays, and 1 abstain.
All right, were there any changes to the minutes from the August 13th, 2019 regular meeting?
Resolution accepting this is read.
Second. Roll call?
Kiefer,
Aye.
Whitman,
Aye.
Phelps. Pardon? Aye.
Aye, whatever.
It's for the minutes.
Yeah, throw it away. Yeah, where?
Smith,
Aye.
Murray.
Aye.
5 ayes, 0 nays, and 0 abstain.
At this time, I welcome Aaron Mullen to do his county report.
Evening. I know you have a budget that you're working on tonight, so I'll try and keep it quick. The county has a solar RFP that it recently accepted for close to 43 megawatt project throughout different county lands, primarily landfill hills, but some other county lands as well, basically to be approved in more detail by the legislature once we have final site plans. But I'm trying to make sure that the contracts that actually are entered into when the county does do it make good on a couple things that they said would be done along with that. One of which was selling the county electric at 10% below cost, and well, a 10% savings. But I've seen some of the solar contracts, and some of the, I think a lot of them say that they'll give a credit that's basically 10% of this, what's called a beater rate. And so I'm just gonna try to make sure before we have a final contract with it, that is tied in with savings in a way that doesn't ever go above our current, the market retail, because it's not exactly retail, but and it's way too complicated to try.
Did you say beater?
Yeah.
B-E-R?
Yeah.
What is that?
I can't remember, I could look it up, but basically it's a combination, it's a formula, one part of which is market rate. But you can get on the DPS, Department of Public Service website, and if you type in BDER and solar, there are pages of explanations, there's white papers on it. It's kind of interesting. You might come across it soon as well, because there's a lot of solar development that people are looking at as well, in addition to wind development. I also brought for the town board, did you receive anything from the county planning department on any model solar laws or anything like that?
No, we just passed our solar law.
You did
last
pass
month.
one? Okay. And were you working off of a model for someone, or was it?
The planning board went to school for it.
Yeah, we had
Okay.
2 or 3 other townships that we got together and kind of put them all together into one.
Okay. Yeah, well, I brought some information on that, but I don't know if you want it at this point, if you've already passed the law on it, but, yeah, I mean, there's just different concerns between wind and solar that you have to look out for, between the two of them. The county also is still working on a large construction project, for basically revamping the court systems within the main county building, and some construction over in the new annex that was just built on the 3rd floor over there. We're going to be sending bids out basically in October, and hopefully starting the first phase of the project like in February. We're hoping that bidding out the first phase of it at this time, when construction season isn't as busy, will save us some money on it, because the costs of the project are astronomical. I don't know if you remember me talking about it before, but I thought that the costs were high before when I was talking, and now they're looking at probably over $10 million for this project. Yep. And I actually did some work on it, and the reason why it's being done is because of the Office of Court Administration is basically saying that our court systems are out of compliance with the regulations, the state regulations. And I got on and looked at the regulations and said in one of the meetings, and I brought the regs and said, I don't read these regulations as actually requiring us to go back through and do this. I read them as being permissive, like you should do this, and if you do any new construction, you have to. But I don't read them as requiring us to do it, which has been one of the big pushes of why we have been doing it. And however, when I brought that up, the county attorney Jennifer Prossick disagrees with me, and that's more her bailiwick than mine. And as does the administration, and they said, they said that Allegheny County had a pretty bad experience where